guys, it's Jess with Sass and Crafts. I know it has been quite a long time since I last did a live video. Had to take a hiatus for a while. We had some family stuff going on. Unfortunately, somebody very close to me, that would be the father of my 2 older boys, he lost his cancer battle, so that really put a damper on things. And when you're feeling like that, last thing you really want to do is craft sometimes. So I just needed to take a break and step back and be with my family and help my boys go through the loss of their father. So but now I'm back. I'm excited. My business has steadily been picking up. I do put a lot of stuff on Etsy, but I still love making like the wreaths and the crafts and things like that. So tonight we are going to be making a fall wreath. I don't know about you, but I'm counting down the days till September 1st because you can guarantee that all my fall stuff will be going up. I know people are like, no, summer, we got to keep summer going, but the faster we get through 2020, the better, because 2020 sucks. So let me show you what we're going to be making today. This is, hopefully, I can get it off the door. This is a ruffle Deco Mesh wreath. So I use 2 different types of 10-inch wide Deco Mesh, a few different kinds of ribbon. This is a sign that I made personally. Like, I designed it and printed it out on my sublimation printer and then actually physically made the sign. So that's something else that I'm getting into, is making different signs and things like that to go with my wreaths, because sometimes I just couldn't find exactly what I was looking for, and I thought, you know what, I am just gonna start making my own. So that's what I did. So, but you can get you know, signs anywhere: Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, the dollar store. You know, believe it or not, they do have some cute little signs and things like that that are perfect for wreath making. So so let's get started. So this is similar to what we're going to be making. The colors are a little bit different and the sign is a little different because, like I said, this is one that I created for myself. So we'll put that up there. And then I'm going to put this down because you don't want to be staring at me the whole time. Okay, and I apologize if you are doing comments and all of that and I don't see them immediately. I do go back through once the video is over and check all the comments and see if anybody had any questions. But for the most part, I like to just cruise along, keep things moving. That way people who are watching this on the playback, you know, aren't sitting there through endless chatter. So I will answer questions as I see them pop up, but if not, don't worry, I will get to you. So obviously you need to start with a wreath form. Now there are many different types of wreath forms out there. I just wanted to show you a couple. This is one that you can get from the dollar store, and quite frankly, this is where I buy most of my wreath forms, is the dollar store. You can go to a craft store and buy a pre-made wreath form. Like this one is from Hobby Lobby. It actually was 4th of July and I got it like when it was on 90% clearance. And all these are just pipe cleaners. And I figure for $1 and then a bag of pipe cleaners for like $1, I can make probably 3 or 4 of these wreath forms for the price of what just this one costs by itself. Plus, I have found that the pipe cleaners are an odd number. So that meant that, like, you know, for example, when I was doing up my Deco Mesh and my ribbon, I would be ending up with 2 of them, you know, right next to each other. And I don't know, most people probably don't care or even notice, but my OCD can't handle that. So I'm like, you know what, if I make my own, I can adjust the amount of pipe cleaners that I need. So You can buy a pre-made one if you want to just save yourself some time, or get just a plain one from the dollar store, and I'll show you real quick how you are going to make your own wreath form. Basically, you're just going to get some stuff out of the way here. You're going to be working with your inside 2 loops and then your outside 2 loops. So your outside 2 and your inside 2. And all you're going to do is just wrap the pipe cleaner around the inside loops. Tighten it so it's not moving easily on there, but it's okay if it does, because you know, sometimes you might want to adjust where your ruffle or your Deco Mesh is going to go. And then what I do is I lay down one, and then that's where I put my next one, is right there. Sometimes they'll end up on a crossbar, which is what that thing is right there. Other times they'll just end up where you put it. So then put one down, and then right there is where I want my next one to be. Here, I'll try and get a little closer so you can see. So that's where I line up for the next one, is right there. And just wrap it around. Now if you really wanted to and you didn't like these moving around in place, you can put like a dab of super glue or DAP glue or something like that to add to it, and that'll like glue it to the frame. But that's personal preference. So all you would do is just work your way around here for as many of these as you want on there, and then do it along on the outside too. So, but I already have one done, so we're gonna get started. Now I told you we were doing a Deco Mesh ruffle. That is what we're doing. So I took two, got my stuff spread out all over the place. I took 2 different types of 10-inch long mesh, and then I cut them at 30 inches long. So what I do to save time, instead of trying to cut one at a time, I will actually lay them on top of each other and then kind of roll it out. I did most of them, but I'm just wanted to show you a couple little tricks of the trade here. So actually, cutting mat is always helpful. So I'll put 30, and you don't have to be exact. So roll it out. Get your handy dandy rotary cutter, and then you can just make sure you're on a solid surface. Just cut them both at once. And then if you get a little bit, boop, there you go. So, real easy, time saving. Layer your Deco Mesh on top of each other. When you go to cut it, save yourself some time. So, now what I'm going to do is, I have the 2 different kinds. I have this one, and then I have like a burlap with like an orange stripe going through it. Pretty fall colored ones. And let's see, get my wreath form. Okay. And it doesn't matter if you start on the inside or the outside, it's personal preference. Whatever you choose to do. But here's what you're gonna do. Alright. So you notice how it like curls up automatically like that. Well, what you're gonna do is kind of get it folded over. And you might fight with it sometimes, but get it folded over. Heck, if you need to even put something on the end just so it doesn't, you know, keep rolling up on you. And then what you're going to do is you are going to kind of find the center, and you are just going to walk your fingers up the center, pushing that mesh as you go. Like, just try and stay as close to the center as you can. You don't need to be perfect. Perfection is definitely not necessary when making a Deco Mesh wreath. And you just walk it up your fingers, so eventually it's going to look like that, almost like a little bow tie almost. So just like that. Now what you could do if you wanted was add your ribbon right on top of it and put it in here, but my fingers aren't that nimble and I lose my ruffles, so I have to do it all over again. So I'd rather just put it on there and go back in later and add my ribbon. So, and then I just put it into one of the pipe cleaners, twist it, and there you go. Now you're not really going to see these pipe cleaners once you get everything on there, so don't worry about that. And then you're just going to alternate back and forth between your two different colors. You don't have to use two different colors. You can just use a solitary color. That's fine too. I just like having a little bit of a variety or variance to my wreaths. I mean, heck, you could even do 3 colors if you wanted. So that might actually work if you find yourself with the wreath form that has an odd number of pipe cleaners on it. That might work to your benefit. So yeah, you're just going to kind of fluff it up as you go along. Let's see, what's my next one? So lock it right up the middle. So I'd ask how everybody's been doing this year, because, you know, I haven't really done any videos this year, but I'm pretty sure everybody's answer is probably the same as mine, is kind of sucks. This year has definitely been interesting, to say the least. It's a first in my lifetime of ever having to experience something like this. I'm sure it is for most other people too, but I know I am in New York State. I don't know where most of you are that are watching this. I'm in New York State, and we had it pretty bad there at the beginning, but we were able to turn it around, fortunately. But it still stinks. There's still a lot of restrictions. And school's getting ready to start. I know it started in a lot of other states, but we still have, our school usually doesn't start until after Labor Day here in New York State. So we still got a couple of weeks, but who knows what it's going to be, whether the goal is to try and go in person if possible, even if it's just a couple of days a week, but you never know what's going to happen. So we'll see. So, and you might get like, if you'll notice right here, like it's a little frayed right there on the end. That's okay, because what you can do is just kind of roll it and tuck it under, you know, because you're going to go back through afterward and kind of play with it a little bit and move it around to where you want it. But I have a whole lot of ideas and plans that I've been working on. I do a lot of making my own designs for not only my signs, but for people that have like the Cricut machines or a Silhouette machine. They use something called an SVG file, which is a cut file basically. So I've been making a lot of my own designs on that, just funny little sayings that I've heard, or lately one of my bigger sellers has been Goonies sloth head that says "Hey you guys" on it. I sell probably one of those at least one a day. You know, fitting because, you know, if you couldn't tell, my shirt says Goonies never say die, so you can't really see it right now, but I am a diehard Goonies fan. I'm a Goonie, I admit it. I'm not ashamed to say it. And I probably could do the truffle shuffle just as good as Chunk too, so. But, so the nice thing about this wreath is it does move fairly quickly. It's one of the less time consuming ones. There's been some where, like the curling method, which I love that one. It's so beautiful and so big and full, but you're literally rolling like, you know, 90 pieces of mesh and it, you know, adding all your ribbon and everything, and so it does get to be time consuming after a while. But I'm glad to be back in the game. It's my goal to do videos every week, sometimes more than that, especially with, you know, school does go to session. We are gonna try, fingers crossed. I believe our district has got a pretty good plan in place. We're gonna try and send the kids back, and that's gonna leave a lot of free time for me in the morning, so who knows, you might see me popping out in the morning to do a couple of things. But I'm also coming up with a whole bunch of crafting kits, because if you're like me, you see a whole bunch of cute little things that you want to make, but you either don't have the materials to make it, or you just don't want to go to the store to buy the said materials to make the little thing, so you just don't make it. So I have decided, I have found a whole bunch of cute little easy craft ideas that I'm going to make into kits that I will be putting on my Etsy shop or my website, sassencrafts.com. It's all the same. And then I will make videos and tutorials of how to make the crafts, so you're not kind of just like, you know, alright, I got all this stuff, now what do I do? So if you're anything like me, I'm a visual learner, so I gotta be watching how somebody does something. So, but so this is probably one of my most favorite wreath decorating methods. There's so many out there. This is the ruffle method, but you know, you got your curling method, you got your poof and curl, you got your poof, you know, you got your deco curl. I mean, there's just so many different wreath varieties, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word. Different ways to make a wreath, so it's always fun. But all I know is I've got so many wreaths in my basement. My husband's like, yeah, you gotta get these out of here. I don't think we need 10 Christmas wreaths, Jess. Come on now. It's like, but no, I don't want to get rid of them. Make good presents, though. I will say that. So, friends and family, don't be surprised if you get a wreath for Christmas. Because I need to start clearing up space. So, literally. So, again, flip it over so you're going against the natural curl that it wants to do. And then let your fingers do the walk-in right up the center. Just like that. And I'm doing my outside layer first. Doesn't really matter if you start on the inside of your wreath form or the outside. But, so I'm going to do it left. There's one more out here. Okay. Then I'll be able to start in the second row, or the inside row. But Now you can find Deco Mesh really at any craft store. Most of it comes from Hobby Lobby for obvious reasons because I work there. And whenever anything's on sale, I buy it, and then I can get my employee discount on top of it. So Hobby Lobby has a lot of Deco Mesh and seasonal mesh. Even though I did find out today, not today, a couple of days ago, I'm like, oh, I'm a little sad about that. Hobby Lobby is no longer going to be selling any Halloween themed things. So, because, you know, I've been helping to unpack a lot of the seasonal freight that comes in, and I've noticed tons of fall stuff and a lot of Christmas stuff, but no Halloween. And so I asked about it, and I was told that we are no longer going to be selling Halloween. So, all right, I did all the outside. Now I'm going to do the inside. Same thing. Zip right up the middle. And plus you can also find Deco Mesh online, but I like to see some of it in person. You know, like especially something like this where it's a fall color, you know, I like to see more of it in person of what it's going to look like. So, alright, I'm going to find the inside. And then all the ribbon. I'll admit, I love ribbon. I have so much ribbon. It's like taking over my whole craft area. I could probably have my own ribbon store with as much ribbon as I have. So again, if you're just tuning in or you need a refresher, this is 10-inch wide Deco Mesh cut at 30 inches long. So, and then this is called a ruffle method. So you just go right up the center there, pinch it in the center, hold it together in the center while you're looping your pipe cleaner around it, or Chanel stem, or whatever you want to call them now. So, and again, don't worry about these pipe cleaners sticking out because we still have to add our ribbon, and then once we add the ribbon we will trim the pipe cleaners. So I have about 10 pipe cleaners on the outside, and I think it was 8 on the inside. So basically each color, you're going to have 9 pieces of that color cut at 30 inches. So, and I love my big cutting mat. Makes life a lot easier. It's so much easier to cut things. Alright, where'd you go? And don't worry if you're smushing down the other pieces of your ruffle, because just like I said, you're going to go through and be, you know, poofing everything back up anyway. So Wish I could listen to music, but I can't listen to music because then Facebook will shut me down saying that I'm copywriting and I'm not allowed to do that, and I can't do a video, and I can't sing as well as I should if I was going to sing out loud, because you guys don't want to hear that either, so. But usually when I am crafting, I got my music blaring. I have to have music. So, but let's see. Let's just put that. So, nice, easy fall wreath. Hubby was excited. I ran to the store, Target, and they actually had pumpkin spice, was it Starbucks or whatever, and the K-Cups. It was like the last one, so I picked it up. And he like ripped that box right open and put it in his little K-Cup carousel thing. And he's like, I am going to have this tomorrow. I will say fall is probably my favorite. And that could be just, especially fall in New York. I am originally from Arizona. That's where I was born and spent a good chunk of my childhood. And let's face it, it's basically summer year-round out in Arizona. Even though they will tell you that it gets cold out there, but their idea of cold is like 60 degrees, so that's like a heat wave for New York in the winter. So New York definitely has a variety, like all of the different seasons, and I'd have to say fall is probably my favorite. All right, here I am. Like, I knew I lost one. Where are we? Here we are. Okay. Okay, figured out where I left off right there. So the only problem with doing the ruffle method sometimes is you lose your spot. And then you gotta try and find it again. But that happens, just flip it over. And you'll be able to figure out where you left off. But as I was saying, New York definitely has the 4 seasons. You know, unlike, you know, places like Arizona or California, where basically summer year-round out there. But here, you know, I will say winter lasts a little bit longer than I would like, but we do get a beautiful fall out of it, and when all the leaves start to change colors, and you know, it's still somewhat warm during the day, but it's awesome for, you know, sitting by the fire with your friends and your sweatshirt and having a nice drink and shooting the breeze and not getting eaten alive by bugs. That's one of the main reasons why I don't go out in the summer, is because I hate bugs. Man, mosquitoes, they love me. They never leave me alone. And I could bathe in DEET and they still we'll find like the one spot I might have missed. So that is, I will say, I lived out in Colorado for a while, out in Denver, and they get a mix of the seasons out there too, but not like here. Even though it's got its own beauty out there. And that we noticed when we moved out there years ago that we could actually be outside and enjoy it because there weren't any mosquitoes. Like, I don't know if that was just a fluke for the 3 years that we lived there, or if they just don't have mosquitoes out there. Because I remember like enjoying the great outdoors in Colorado a lot and not getting eaten alive by mosquitoes. So what I do is I just go along on the back just to see if I've got them all. What did I do here? I skipped one. So I will have a couple that are right next to each other, but no big deal. I'll just go back through and fix that later. I have two that are side by side, but I skipped the pipe cleaner. Oh well. See? You probably wouldn't have even noticed, but I said something. Alright, where is the one right here? Alright, so this is the last one. So again, it was 10 on the outer ring and then 8 on the inner ring. Basically 9 pieces each. So there is the wreath with all of the Deco Mesh on there. So now what I'm going to do is go through and put my ribbon on. So let me just show you real quick, because to save time I did cut my ribbon. Most of it I lost track, so I might have to cut a couple more pieces. But plus I also wanted to show you how I do dovetails on my ribbon. So I got stuck. So I got 2 different types of the 2.5 ribbon. This one is from Hobby Lobby. I don't know where this one is from. I got this like on clearance last year. It might be from Hobby Lobby or Joann's or Michael's, but I know for certain this polka dot one is at Hobby Lobby. So cut them at 12 inches long. It's 2.5 inches wide. And then I have 1.5 inch wide ribbon, 2 different kinds. These came from Hobby Lobby as well. You don't have to pair them up, but I like to, and that I'll lay them on top of each other like that. It just comes out really, really pretty. So, but let me show you real quick how you dovetail. So you've got, you know, your straight edge right along here like that, but what you want it to do is have that cute little triangle like that right there. So what you're gonna do is just fold it in half, and then I fold the ends in half like that, and then you're gonna cut it in such a way so that like you're cutting the corner and like the inside corner pieces off, and then it'll leave you your nice little tails just like that. So alright, so what I do is I lay it on top of each other, just the small on top of the big, kind of eyeball it, find the center, again, squish it so it almost, you know, looks like a little birdie, whatever. And now I'm going to start tucking them into my pipe cleaners. And I will alternate and do every other. And so once I've finished, what you can do is you can either wrap the pipe cleaners back around behind the ribbon, which I like to do, and then I cut, and then I'll twist it again behind the ribbon, and then I'll cut the pipe cleaner. And don't worry about making the ribbon all nice, because it's going to get smushed and moved around and stuff anyway, so you don't really need to spend a whole lot of time trying to make it all look nice, because it'll get smushed when you're doing the other pieces of ribbon, and it'll get smushed when you're trying to put your bow on there, your sign, your little embellishments. I just wait until the very end to poof everything out and make it look nice. And so just wrap it around, go up behind my ribbon to hide it. And then cut it. And if you really are focusing and not jabber-jawing like I am, realistically you could have this wreath done in about an hour, maybe even less. Probably, I would say honestly, the most time consuming is cutting the ribbon in the Deco Mesh. Because once you got it all cut, you just gotta throw it on there. So some other wreath ideas that I'm going to be making, I've got ones for Halloween. One is using a witch hat wreath form. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I would start looking for your witch hat at the Dollar Tree now, because I legit had to go to 7 stores before I could find one. So if that is something you think you're interested in following along when I go to make it, I would start looking for it now. But I will be, again, like I did with this one, you know, putting the supply list of what you're going to need. And that might also be the start of my crafting kits too, so you don't have to worry about going out and buying everything. I can just have it all set and ready to go and mail it right out to you. So if that's something you are interested in, make sure you let me know so I can put your name down on the list, because I only have so many of the witch hats myself. So if that is something you think you're interested in, definitely let me know. And I'm also hoping to be able to start doing in-person classes here soon. I everything got put on hold, obviously, with COVID, but I have found a place where I can hold a make and take type of class and make sure everybody is socially distancing and you wouldn't be sharing supplies or anything like that. So, it would be, you know, something like this, you know, for example, everything you need to make this wreath, and I would, you know, work with you as we're making it. So, because I love to craft. That is definitely my passion, is crafting. So, but yeah, I've got some cute Halloween wreaths coming down the pipe. And I got a couple more fall ones that I think I might do using a pumpkin wreath. Again, those are at the dollar store as well. Haven't been able to find those though. But I did find a pumpkin wreath, a wire pumpkin wreath mold frame or whatever you want to call it at Hobby Lobby. Most of my stuff comes from Hobby Lobby or the Dollar Tree, because you can get some cute little seasonal decor items there, especially for wreath making. Like I saw this one tutorial about using black roses for a wreath. It's really super cool, and they all are like black wreath or rose bunches from the Dollar Tree, and they have little like eyeballs on some of them and like glitter spiders on the other, so it'll be really fun to make that. So I got the whole inner done. Now I'm gonna move to the outside, and then draw on some signs, show you how to make a bow, and call it a day or a night, depending on where you are. For me, it's a night. Alright. Again, you don't have to tuck your pipe cleaner behind the ribbon, but I do, just to keep it out of the way, and then I know it's not going to poke up and jab somebody. So, and again, you don't have to worry about making the ribbon all nice right now, because, you know, I'm smushing it as I go along, so. So I hope you will join me for more of my live videos and things like that. And I do have a YouTube channel that I have started putting stuff on. I'm pretty close to my 100 subscribers. Once I get to 100 subscribers, then I will have like my own URL for YouTube. Like right now it's gibberish, you know, it's youtube.com and then a whole bunch of gibberish behind it, which is my direct channel. But when you get to like 100 people that subscribe to your channel, then at that point it'll be youtube.com, you know, like / or whatever, Sass and Crafts. So so please make sure you go subscribe to my YouTube channel, because not everything I do is going to be on Facebook, because Facebook is constantly changing the things and it's really hard to keep up with sometimes. and it's just annoying, and I like YouTube much better, and I can do lives on YouTube as well. So eventually that might be where you'll find me the most, is on YouTube. So especially for pre-recorded tutorials. So I mean, like this one right here will get uploaded to YouTube at some point, but and I'm hoping I'm gonna get a she shed or my crafting shed, because I'm tired of having to constantly pack up all my stuff and move and, you know, figure out where I'm going to do all my crafting because I don't have the space for it. So I'm hoping soon that I will be getting my own she shed, and all of my craft stuff will be in one spot, and I can do my videos out there and have it be stationary and hide out there, and hopefully nobody will find me. But we'll see. If I can't get a she shed, then I definitely will have a dedicated area to do my videos. So it's also another, I find, I don't know if you're like me, but you know, sometimes it's just trying to get the motivation to do things sometimes, especially when it's like, oh, I want to do this video, but that means I got to clean up the area where I need to do the video because it's a disaster, and get it all cleaned up and organized, and then get everything set up to make the video, and then I'm like, forget it, I'm done. So I'm hoping that if I could have a dedicated craft area where I can also do my videos, you're going to start seeing more videos from yours truly. What did I end with that? So again, I'm just laying 1.5 inch ribbon on top of a 2.5 inch piece of ribbon, and then going back through and tucking it back onto the pipe cleaner. Now you could undo the pipe cleaner if you wanted, but I don't, because then you run the risk of the ruffle coming undone, not to mention it weakens the integrity of the pipe cleaner, if there is such a thing. It just weakens the pipe cleaner, and then, you know, it might break at some point, and you don't want that to happen. And so, and you're not really going to be seeing the little orange center of the pipe cleaners anyway, so you know, not unless somebody is like physically trying to seek them out. So I don't bother opening up the pipe cleaners again to put my ribbon on top. Like I said before, some people actually do the ruffle and the ribbon together at the same time, but I guess my fingers are too fat and aren't nimble, and I can't do that. I've tried doing my ruffle and then holding it in one hand and trying to get the ribbon situated in the other, and I end up having to redo the ruffle over and over again, to the point where I'm like, forget it, I'm just gonna put it in and I'll add the ribbon on top later. So we're almost done with our ribbon. Again, most of these supplies I found at Hobby Lobby, but any of your craft stores are got their fall decor stuff and fall wreath making stuff out. And most of the stores, it's even on sale. You know, at Hobby Lobby it's been 40%. I'm not sure when it's going to go to 50, but you can guarantee once it goes 50%, it's going to be snapped up quick. I think Joann's has it like 40% off. I haven't been to Michael's to see what selection they have, but I also think theirs is on sale this week too. So, and the dollar store also sells ribbon as well. But the only downside to the dollar store ribbon is you don't get a whole lot. Like for example, you know, like this one from Hobby Lobby, you know, there's 30 feet in here. And granted, it's originally $8, but I got it 40% off. Well, actually a little bit more, 55% really, if you want to be technical because of my employee discount. But there's 30 feet in here. So that means, you know, if I'm cutting my ribbon at 12 inches long, I'm going to get 30 pieces of ribbon out of here. Whereas the dollar store one, typically they only have like 9 feet or 12 feet in them. So you're not, you know, going to get as much out of it. And sometimes they don't have enough for you to get a second roll, you know, but it's definitely worth, you know, trying out and seeing if you like it. So, I don't use the dollar store Deco Mesh though, because I don't find the quality is very good. I find that it frays a lot. But I have gotten some of their ribbon from there in the past. So, don't be afraid to try new things, you know. Just because somebody else might try it and not have much luck with it doesn't mean that you won't. So, you know, and it's $1. So, you know, is it really that big of a deal at the end of the day if you spend $1 or $2 trying something and you didn't like it? Well, now you know, and you just don't buy it from there again. Alright, one more. Oops. No. No. Oh my goodness. This one, and then this one. Did I miss some? Or did I just cut more ribbon than I should have? That happens sometimes. I'm not paying attention and I cut more than I need. Okay. Alright, so just go back through. I think I got all my pieces. Yeah, looks like I got everything. Okay, so I just guess I cut more ribbon than I needed to. Alright, so here it is so far. Looking pretty cute. Alright, now I'm going to show you how I put on a couple little embellishments. I also have a sign. I got this from the dollar store. Thankful and blessed. Glittery, super cute. It's got some raffia bow up here and a little metal leaf. It does have a hanger, which, you know, you can use on the wreath if you want, or you can take some plastic clips. I don't have any with me. I left them sitting upstairs, but they're these square pieces of plastic that a wire or a pipe cleaner will fit through the hole on the back. That way you can hold it in place, or just use hot glue and you can, you know, hot glue wire or, you know, your pipe cleaners to the back of your sign to attach it better to the wreath. So this one does have a little bit of a hanger on it already, which I can use. I can utilize that in there. You know, go right in the center. But what do I want to do here? So what I can do, because I forgot my little plastic things, is I'm gonna just put a pipe cleaner through a piece of string on the back, and then I'm going to, alright, I'm gonna lift this camera up just a little bit. Alright, and then I'm going to basically feed the pipe cleaner through the back. There it is right there. Hold on. Where's the other one? I'm telling you, sometimes the hardest part is trying to poke your things through the back, the Deco Mesh part of the wreath. So there it is right there. Then I'll kind of flip it over. See where I would like it to land. So like that. Pulling it as tight as I can. And then I'm just gonna wrap the pieces of the pipe cleaner around the back. So just like this. There's the pipe cleaner sign. I'm just gonna twist it. I'm not going to cut it yet because in case I need to move it or anything. So there's that. And then you can go through and add some cute little floral picks. Again, I got them from the seasonal section at Hobby Lobby. And you're just going to tuck them through your Deco Mesh and then wrap them around the wire frame in the back. Just like that, that's all I'm doing. Doesn't need to be perfect because then you can just go through and, you know, place things where you want them. But so just wrapping it around the back of the frame here. Bottom. These from like Hobby Lobby. I think they're like maybe $2.99. There's lots of different floral picks there. They got leaves and berries and lots of different ones, but I like the sunflowers. I don't know, is that what they are? Sunflowers. So, alright, so we're almost done. Now you could add more flowers if you want. I just wanted to show you briefly. Alright, and let's make a bow real quick. Alright, so Easy Bow Maker. Love this thing. I think I got it for like $10 at Michael's or something with a coupon. But it's so nice for making bows. You can make bows by hand. I'm just not very good at it. So I definitely do better when I have a little tool. This is the Deluxe Easy Bow Maker. This is the Bowdabra. And then I also have another bow maker that's like hardcore bow making. I haven't quite mastered that one yet. It kind of intimidates me a little bit. So I just stick with what I know. But, all right, so we're going to make a bow. And start with 2.5 inches. Now this is like some leftover ribbon that I had from like a couple years ago. But what's nice about like this is, you know, I can put my ribbon on a dowel right over here, and it's just easier to maneuver things. But all right, so I want my tails to be 8 inches. Let me just cut my little dovetail. All right, so about 8 inches. Doesn't really matter. All right, and pinch it in the middle. Now okay. So you're gonna lay it down, okay? And see how I pinch it, but I'm gonna pinch and then twist because I'm gonna make a loop, and I want the pretty side of the ribbon to be showing. If I had just left it the way it was, not twisted, when I go to make a loop, all that glittery stuff would be on the inside, and that's not what I want. I want the glittery to show. So if you got double-sided ribbon, which most of my ribbon, you know, is double-sided, you know, it's got something on one and not really, I mean, yes, there's something on the back, but it's, you know, not good. I can't believe I don't even have an example to show you, but at any rate, when you got ribbon that has two sides, you need to pinch and then twist right in the center. And then I like to have about 5 to 6 inch loops. So it's nice as this Easy Bow Deluxe Bow Maker has like a ruler on the side. So like I know if I want 6 inch loops, I'm gonna have to go to 12 right there, and then bring it in. All right, and then again, I'm gonna twist. I'm gonna do what's called, I think it's called a Lisa bow. It's got 2 loops on one side, 1 loop on the other. So twist, about 12. That's about 12. You can always eyeball it too if you think like one side is like, this is definitely way bigger than that. I know that I can just, you know, bring it in a little bit to make them a little bit more even. And then I'm gonna pinch and then twist. So I got one here, one here. I'm gonna make two here. So the Lisa bow has 2 loops on one side and then 1 on the other. Okay, and I don't need to twist it. So then I'm gonna cut it. Make my dovetail. All right, now I'll do which one? This is where, like, if you have some leftover ribbon, you can use that up. This is stuff that I got like last year from Michael's, maybe. All right, so when you're doing the Lisa bow, it's 1 loop on one side, 2 on the other, and then when you change your ribbon, you flip-flop. So now I'm going to do 2 on this side and 1 on this side. So I'm going to get about 8 inch tails. So remember, like this is a good example. See how it's all nice and sparkly on one side, but it's not on the other. So, all right, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna twist. There's one on that side. Twist. And two on this side. Come on, it keeps sliding out of my fingers as I go to cut it. Okay. Alright, so I have two on this side now. Alright, I'm gonna do one more 2.5 inch. Okay. Go there. Twist. Loop. Sometimes the dowel just is a pain in the butt and not worth using. Alright, pinch it in the middle. Twist. Make my loop. Here. Twist. Okay, now I can go to the smaller ribbon. So I did 3 different kinds of the 2.5 inch ribbon, doing a Lisa bow, 2 loops on one side, 1 on the other. I alternated. So I have 2 loops on here, 1 here. So now I will do 2 on this side of this ribbon. So, and you do want to make your tails just a little bit smaller. I was doing 8-inch tails. So now maybe I'll just go up to 7 instead, which is right about there. So that. And then instead of 6-inch loops, I might maybe do 5. So again, you just eyeball it. You don't have to be technical and measure. I used to do that in the beginning, and I just would drive myself crazy because I'd be so frustrated because it wasn't coming out the way I wanted it to. And so it was just like, all right, perfection is not needed. So now I just kind of, I like that. Okay, that's good. We'll do that. But if you need the actual measurements, I always like to give those too. So, almost done here. You just gotta keep squishing down as you go. Right. I think I want to drop it. I did. Dropped my orange over here. All right. Almost done, people. I promise. We're near the finish line, near the end, whatever. Okay. So now this is basically a double-sided one, so it doesn't really matter. So I don't need to twist, which is nice. I can just make my loops. Okay. And sometimes, what do I do with it? Oh, I will take my Bodabra thing and set it right there, because that's the nice thing about the Bodabra is it can hold things in place. And you can do this same bow on the Bodabra. It doesn't have to be on, you know, the Easy Bow Maker or whatever. I just like using the Easy Bow Maker because it does have the ruler on the side. Okay, and I'm going to do one last ribbon, and then my bow will be done. Whoops. Or you can do it like that, which is not right. Almost did it again. There you go. This side. Alright. And because this is the top one, I probably will go a little bit smaller even with this one. Like shorter tails. So I think it was 8 tails or 8 inches. Oh, this is a double-sided too. Sweet. I did 8 inches and 7, and now I'm up to like 6. So, and because this is going to be the last one, I want it to be just a little bit smaller. So. Okay. Then cut. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, this is where your pipe cleaner comes into play. If you can find your said pipe cleaner. I knew it mine. I like to use pipe cleaner to put the bow together. Hold on. Alright, what did I do? Oh, here they are. Bow together. Okay, so take your pipe cleaner, and what you're going to try and do is feed that pipe cleaner like all the way to the bottom of your layers here. So the nice thing about this Easy Bow Maker is it kind of like creates a dent where the center is going to be. So what you're going to do is you're just going to start to tighten it, not tighten it all the way, because you've got to be able to move that pipe cleaner into the center once you pull your bow off. But you don't want to pull your bow off until you've had your pipe cleaner attached to it, because then your bow will like all over the place and it's a pain trying to put it back together. So you do it just pretty nice, just enough to keep it in place, and then see where it makes that nice indentation, like right there in the center where my finger is sliding right through. Then you're going to move your pipe cleaner to that indentation, and then you can tighten it. And again, don't tighten it all the way, because you also need to get your wire up in there too. So I will kind of work it through, and then I will, before I totally tighten it, take my piece of wire and kind of feed it through the bottom here. I'm just gonna basically slide it right through the bottom. If it doesn't bend on you. There it goes. Alright. So I'm gonna do that. Cut your wire. Alright, and now you can pull that sucker as tight as you can. Okay, as tight as you can. There. Then what you're going to do is go through and pump up your bow. And you're going to kind of like pull them opposite of each other, you know. I'm just going to plump it up, just like that. Boop. You could use, I got a box. It's my poofing box. It's just like a box that has a little eyelet and a nail. And honestly, I just do the ribbon like around the eyelet just a couple of times, and then wrap the other one around like that, just so to hold it in place while I'm trying to make it look nice. And then just take my fingers and curl the ribbon over. It always helps to make sure you use ribbon that has wire in it, like that way it'll keep its shape when you go to play with it. So. And just pull it apart. And you just play with your ribbon until it gets to be the bow that you like. Again, there are no perfect bows, so. Alright, and then take it off. And that's called a Lisa bow. 2 loops on one side, 1 loop on the other. You alternate it on your ribbon. So there you go, just like that. Alright, and you got your wire on the back. I can cut the excess off of my pipe cleaner because I don't need that. Got my wire. And then you just gotta figure out where you would like it. I think I'm gonna put it right here. So then you just gotta make sure when you're feeding it through that you're wrapping around the frame and not like around mesh or ribbon or whatever, because that'll rip your mesh. So, and sometimes you gotta get it where you think you want it and then look at it. Sometimes you gotta adjust or move it. I think I want it maybe at the top. Let's try it at the top. That's why I didn't cut my pipe cleaners either for my sign, in case I want to move my sign. You know, because sometimes you don't want your sign dead center, you want it off center. Just mine's, I find the ones that you might do off center are more of your smaller signs, but bigger ones I think tend to look better when they're right in the center of your wreath. So let's see, how does that look? Okay, actually, I think I like that there. Alright, and then you just pull your bow tight, wrap it around your wire frame on the back, and snip, 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 and snip. Okay. And now you can go through and plump things up to make them look nice. So I might actually go back through and attach that at the bottom too, if you want. Personal preference. And you can go through and just use your finger and twirl your, oops, can't see what I'm doing, twirl your ribbon just so it'll get those nice little loops. Just do that. So, alright, let's lift up a little bit. Alright, so there you go. Our Deco Mesh ruffle wreath.